Okay, so since Emerald City Survival has come out, it has brought with it a goblin, the buffed Goblin Cupid pet, renamed to Desert Goblin Cupid. Um, and the map isn't really that easy to run, and the Desert Goblin Cupid, isn't really considered that great. Most people probably wouldn't say it's worth farming, but yeah, you might be surprised. So here I have 5 of the best ranged DPS pets in the game. You just can't see the monkey right now because there's a bug where it's under the floor. Like if you look, you can see the other pets like sit above the floor, whereas the monkey is like directly on the floor. That might have something to do with it, but yeah. So first we'll test in this order. So obviously I'm not going to show you these, uh, the exact stats on them, but you'll just have to trust me. So this Crystalline Dragon is roughly 400 upgrades. It's actually slightly higher. So keep that in mind when I compare it to the Phoenix and the Goblin Cupid, because the Phoenix and the Goblin Cupid have slightly less damage than the Crystalline Dragon, but it's very minor. First, I should say that the Phoenix or Phoenix it's pretty much a Crystalline Dragon with piercing shots, no splash damage. Um, I think that's about it really. It should be the same damage per upgrade and do similar or set the same damage with the same amount of upgrades. I think the only thing that makes the Crystalline Dragon slightly better in terms of damage is it has a higher starting base, but there could be something that doesn't make that relevant. I can't remember. But yeah, they're pretty much the same pets in terms of damage, apart from one. Uh, the Phoenix has piercing shots and no splash damage. So taking that into account, the Phoenix is better than the Crystalline Dragon just because not having piercing shots is such a downside. Um, the only thing that makes Crystalline Dragon, it's easier to farm than a Phoenix. It's a lot less rare than a Phoenix, so it will take you a short amount of time to get a good Crystalline Dragon compared to a Phoenix. But if you have equal of the two, and you don't take into account how much it takes to farm, blah blah blah, then a Phoenix will be more effective in an actual game or in a real scenario. So we'll look at the Crystalline Dragon. All of these tests will just be right up close to the dummy because I just want to showcase the damage, the damage potential. So yeah, you see between 8.2 and 9.6. Damage numbers are the DPS numbers on the dummy aren't very accurate. There are some other damage stuff you can do to actually figure out the damage, but yeah, shouldn't really take too much. Don't take what the dummy says exactly, basically. Just use it as a rough estimate. Um, so Phoenix, again, this is like 20 upgrades less than that Crystalline Dragon. Let me see, 8.6, 9.8. Yeah, you get the idea. So now, I think we'll try the Goblin Cupid last, since it's what I'm trying to emphasize the most. So we'll do Monkey next. And Monkey is basically like the pet equivalent of an Ember Scepter. It's going to do the most single target damage of any pet from one projectile. Like the most damage in one hit is going to come from a monkey. Now this monkey actually has quite a lot more upgrades compared to the Phoenix and the Crystalline Dragon. This has 220 more upgrades. And the Crystalline Dragon was, just slightly over 400, like 418 or something. So yeah, it's doing less DPS, but if you need a big amount of damage in one hit, the monkey is the best pet for that. So now we have the Goblin Cupid. Now, the Goblin Cupid is pretty crazy because I'll show you the damage first. Keep in mind this is less upgrades than the Crystalline Dragon. So we're seeing 8.4. 8.4, you get the idea. It's pretty much the same as Crystalline Dragon Phoenix. So that's crazy, first of all. Secondly, this has piercing shots. It has the really good spread, the two in the center. It basically Phoenix, Crystalline Dragon, and Goblin Cupid all have the same spread. Um, it's just that the Crystalline Dragon has splash damage, so it might seem like the projectiles are bigger. But yeah, so basically a Goblin Cupid is like a Phoenix with the piercing shots, but it's generic damage. And you might not think that's that big of a deal, but it's actually really good. Some things you can do with a Goblin Cupid, you can do poly with a monk. You can just do the whole thing with just a monk with a Goblin Cupid. It's pretty nice. It's like it's kind of relaxing, um, because you don't really have to focus on hitting anything. The Goblin Cupid is so accurate. If you max projectile speeds, the projectile speed, sorry. That's another thing I should emphasize is how important it is to upgrade the projectile speed. You have to max the projectile speed on Goblin Cupids 100% of the time. Because if you're running like this, the Goblin Cupid will try and shoot you to heal you if you need healing, that is. And if you're too fast, say even just the Ninja Monk skin or just a monk, default monk with a Mischief Maker, can actually sometimes still be too fast with a Goblin Cupid with max projectile speeds. Like the projectile speeds will just fall behind you. They won't hit you if you're running. So that's why max projectile speed is a must-have. But yeah, it heals a ton from one projectile. This Goblin Cupid will heal me for roughly 7k. So that's like it's pretty good. Um, Especially in situations, I'd say Goblin Cupid is most valuable in like Great Old One, Normal Old One, Poly, you know, situations where you're not going to be able to sort of relax and heal up. You need to be able to heal like on the fly. And a Goblin Cupid does that amazingly. So it's better than Crystalline Dragon and Phoenix in literally every way. Generic damage, piercing, yeah. And this has less upgrades than the Crystalline Dragon as well. And then just to showcase, this is a 40k Ultimate Seahorse. Just to show that, yeah, those pets are good, but if you're just looking for maximum damage, you're still not going to be able to beat an Ult Seahorse anytime soon. But yeah, Seahorse hasn't got the best spread. Poison damage, so those are its downsides. It does have the piercing shots. But yeah, hope this was informative, and go farm some Goblin Cupids, seriously. If you think Crystalline Dragon was good, just get a Goblin Cupid.